as I built, 60 indicators or so plus, and usually I'm on the premise of where and why when you're building out a system. And really, to me, it has to be a system, something that you can repeat over and over again. So yeah, you can start with free indicator. Obviously, you can use what's going to give you structure, right? And then you can get to like when. So you have the where. And you can see this does a pretty good job. This free one from Chart Prime gives you some basic levels. So this gives you some of these, from. I do like my indicator, this Gann indicator, the Gann Pro. It gives you a few different levels to work with. They're static, right? So they're not going to change. They get refactored every day, but they remain static. And so you can see it doesn't solve the overall question. So you have the where, you know where to some degree. I mean, as it obviously is going to go through levels. So how you can distinguish, going back in time, you're never going to know 100%, right? So the question is, prices breaking above a level, right? Well, here's an example. So here on Friday, right? It breaks up. Well, what are you going to do here, right? What can you add to help with your decision-making process? You can add team overlay, right? Adding in some EMAs, SMAs, whatever, right? But it's very lagging, right? You can add on like the ML, this Lorenzo classification, ML. So that can help you too, right? A little bit. I mean, look at this. So if you're looking at it as a Gann and you have a signal to go long, now when the signal signal's right here, I tend to like to take my ultimate trades are like when I'm trading at the Gann level. So for me, if you're using this one, great, it helps you. I do also like this other one, this impulse trend. So let's just say as a system, you could take, there's a couple ways to do it, right? So as long as this is, green for long, if it's breaking above again, you can be long as a breakout trade, as a minimum play, but that's not the ideal world. I mean, nothing's ideal, but I'm just saying as far as a breakout can be tougher. I definitely like it when a break comes back and it shows you, so nothing's gonna be perfect though. So like, let's just say you go long here as a system, comes back. Now maybe you wait for a candle closure above, just above the Gann, so you go long there. So almost Gann to Gann, right? But look at that. See, it comes back down. So if you're long here, you're stopped out. Ideally, if you're long here, again, you're long here at T741. Hopefully you scalped out a chunk here, and then either we're stopped out at break even or a small loss. So then the next trade idea, right? So what I like about this impulse trend is that you're not looking to immediately short, even though it's coming back below this major Gann level. And on a breakout, you actually could scalp if you went short at the 21. You could scalp a little bit out of this, right? But look how fast. Again, this did a pretty good job. Again, this is the time of day. You're only half hour into the market open. So now look, do you take this break back above? Do you wait for it to come back to retest? That's always the question. Let's say you had a limit order here and you went long at 28. Okay, so you're 28. Or even better, look at so you went long, you just broke back. So let's just say you went long here at 31. So watch how this plays out. Okay, look, stopped out. Okay, so you did everything right. Break above, and then broke up again. So you get stopped out. So now you're watching, and look at that. So then it breaks out above again. So let's say you go long on this candle. Ah, winner. So that's where you're never gonna find something with perfection. I guess you could argue if you were trading micros, well, even I think you would have stopped out. If you had to stop right here and your stop was even outside the zone, you're still getting stopped out. So I consider that again, you got stopped out on a good trade though. But again, so same setup though. You're long here, and then you have a nice Gann again. Immediately comes right back down. Now again, I wouldn't scalp short up on this Gann level, right? I mean, yeah, yes, it depends. If you're one that can trade price action and you're really good at it, you could see a double top here and scalp and take your, say your short as 803, your stops here at 835, and you're going to get your Gann to Gann. Versus, okay, if you're using, a trend filter, this is still green, so looking to go long right here, right? So you're going long at 73. Maybe close. I mean, if you just stop right there, you've been really dang close getting stopped out. Or even if you were stopped out, again, let's say you were stopped out again, small loss. So you went back long again, based on the conditions. You're at a major Gann level with your trend confirmation, and look at that. So you get a really nice push up from going. This is almost 2 Ganns, right? 1, 2. Same thing. Now, could you be at a Gann level? You get a nice, doji. Could you take a scalp right here all the way down? And look at that. That's Gann to Gann again. For me, though, it's hard to build a system based on these. Now, this double top makes somewhat sense. For me, doing just a one, just basically like a direct straight up, straight down. Now, this one makes a lot of sense to me. Major Gann, we're still green on the trend. Now you're longing at 49, and then you get a nice Gann again almost, and then you get, look at that. So that's the other cool thing. So finally, you get a runner. But you never knew what, you don't know when it's going to happen, obviously. But in this case, this trend flow or trend indicator kind of helped you stay in this. So again, your luck here, you're not looking to short this Gann because it doesn't meet the criteria for a short. Now, what's kind of cool is this flattens out. This does not meet the criteria of a short because it's so far away from a Gann. So my rules are depending on what you want to do, right? This short doesn't make sense for me. If things flipped, we're far away from the Gann. So as we get up here, though, now it makes more sense. You have things are turning red on the trend thing, so you could potentially a short here, but you probably stopped out here. So again, stopped out, short, like a nice candle closer short there, and then that one tests you a little bit. Even if you got stopped out, you're short there, down. And this long does not. I mean, this is a long indicator, but I went long right into a Gann. And again, look at the trend. I guess it did change green for a second. That still doesn't meet the criteria of a long. It'd have to close above the Gann. But here you go. So let's say you missed this even. Now you get I guess, okay, so it is a little bit farther away from the Gann. So let's say you didn't want this one. Came down. Now you could go long, short here. Trend, close above the Gann, low. So again. So that's kind of how I like to view using Gann or any other, like building out your system. You're combining it with something else. So you have the where and then the why or whatever you want to call it. So you build out your system looking for your A and B trades. So I hope that helps people asking questions about how to trade Gann. And as you go back, it's kind of fun as you build this out. You can start to form what trades meet your criteria, and you build out your system. So like you can go back just a little bit here. Look, breaks below. Now this is a little trickier because this is right before open, so I wouldn't want to trade right. Look at this right at the open. Look at 8 minutes in. Where it gets a little tricky. Again, your system. You could be short here, right? Short right here. Okay, well you get wicked out, and that's just going to happen. So as you watch it, you don't. Yeah, like you get wicked out. There's still no long there, right? Wicked out, wicked out. There's not. In theory, this is where trading gets a little tough. But as far as the system goes, short here, wicked out, short here, wicked out, and same setup, short here, and then look at that. So that's where you might, depending on your system, you might have to absorb a couple losses. Now, I'm not saying you want to keep firing. That's where I think people can get revenge trade, is because you have the right idea, but and Q just wicks you out. So that's where sometimes when I do take multiple trades at a level, because I know this can happen, now that the key is in your system, are you able to take 2 or 3 losses in a row and make it work, right? So same kind of thing here. As it comes down, it closes here. You're short at this candle. Sorry, anyway, you know what I mean? So you're short right here, right? Scalping down, kind of wicks back up. That's where this took a bit. This took a while. This is kind of like a bear flag forming, right? And ultimately, this is a pretty mean wick. So you could be doing everything, right, you're short here, and then that thing wicks right back up to the Gann level. And then it kind of bounces around. Again, the nice thing is at least you're not longing. So even if you get wicked out, hopefully you have a system in place where it doesn't have you counter trend. And then as you can see, eventually, as sometimes the tougher trades are the ones that take. Maybe visually you don't like it. I mean, sold off. Maybe in your mind going short here just is visually tough. Well, that's some of those are the best trades to take. But if it matches what you do, you have the where and when. Even again, if you don't do dojis, at least as far as that doji goes, but you take the close here. Again, looking back, it's always easy trading going back. But if you're building out a system, again, you have to look at your losses. So again, like you have your loss, and then you can see how these closes do work. But every system has where the things don't work. Anyway, that's just how I use Gann levels and confirmation using different tools. I use EMAs, VWAP, and again, I kind of found this is a kind of impulse trend. It's kind of this boss wave one. It is an interesting idea. I like how it doesn't have me reverse just because I'm at a Gann thinking I should counter trend immediately. Like you right here, like you have a doji right again, it would not have me go long here. That's one reason why I like this indicator a lot. With Gann, it would keep me from trying to counter trend. Even though we're at a major Gann, that doesn't mean this is a high probability long as you add in different filters. So again, that's why I love the structure of Gann, and then it helps me build out a system that I can do and repeat every day. And then you're not going to always get these massive runs down, but they do happen, and you just have to survive some of these, some of the whipsaws and some of the consolidation, so that when these days happen, like last Thursday, that you can capitalize on that. Anyway, so that's how I kind of build out a system with Gann levels and to trade. Anyway, see you guys.